We're sorry. All of our representatives are still assisting other customers. Please remain on the line as we now take your call.
Welcome to Paradox 9. Well, folks, we have something really interesting for you to look at. We're going to analyze this a little bit. We're going to take a look at it. What we see are orbs. Many times people have seen solid UFOs, nut and bolt type of things, but a lot of the UFOs that people see are lights in the sky, especially at nighttime, traveling super fast across the sky, zipping into right angles. Some things come into the atmosphere and float around, and that's this type of UFO that we have here. Now, is this a nut and bolt type of UFO, or is this something else? Could this be something coming in from a different realm? We know that we scan the skies for UFOs. We scan space, our solar system, looking for incoming asteroids. We don't see the UFOs coming in from far distances. We don't monitor them in for days, tracking them. They just seem to appear in our atmosphere. Of course, we have some UFOs that are underwater, but in this case we have UFOs that are floating around, orbs, lights in the sky. What are they? This particular UFO video was taken in New York City back in 2010, and the photographer does a pretty good job. I'd like to know who actually took the video, and if they can comment down below, or if anybody knows, turn me on to it. I'd like to get their thoughts on this. But could these be something more in the nature of interdimensional beings? We know that angels at one time came in as objects of light. We've read about it throughout history. I've changed the color here a couple of times to see if there's anything formed around them, because they're pretty grouped up at one point or another. And then they start separating, and I don't see any object between them. It's not one object, but many objects. And they don't appear to be increasing and decreasing in size. They just seem to be hovering around themselves. But as the person is filming this, we start to see more of them appear. I've increased the zoom a little bit so we can see closely what we're looking at. Jacques Vallée, a great UFO investigator from the Close Encounters of the Third Kind movie, he was portrayed as the French scientist. But he did a massive investigation into UFOs and the myths that had been portrayed and told throughout time, looking back into these and also looking at how they had connections to religion. I don't know what they are, but I think the government is hiding something that is more than aliens. Could they be something from our future? Could they be us from our future? Could they be something from our past? Or could it be possible that we live in multi-dimensional worlds and they're slipping in and slipping out of our realm of consciousness? Sometimes they appear out of nowhere. As you see in this video, it starts off with 3, but then the next thing you know, I believe there's 6 to 7 new UFOs or orbs come out of nowhere. But Paradox 9, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at it, and we're going to keep our mind open. We're going to keep our mind open to the sense that this could be more than just your average metallic nuts and bolts type of UFO. Could it be interdimensional? Could it be realms of existence? Could it be angels? Could it be demons? A lot of UFO encounters are like this from long distance viewing, but there are some groups that actually meditate, and all of a sudden UFOs appear. And they say go to the right, and the UFO way up in the sky, thousands of feet up in the air, and all of a sudden the UFO starts going to the right. They say go to the left, and they'll go to the left, using mind control from the ground up to these unidentified flying objects, almost as if there's a psychic connection. I don't think a little green man would have a psychic connection thousands and thousands of feet up into the air and then pinpointing down into some observers in a lonely desert, making contact with their mind. It just doesn't seem possible to me. It doesn't seem logical. What seems more logical is that these are manifestations of some sort that are created, possibly, manipulated, possibly, by the power that humans have. On Coast to Coast one night, a gentleman had called in, completely freaked out. And he was on the phone, and he said that he had just gotten away from Area 51 or one of the labs, and he was trying to warn everybody on the phone that we did not know what the government was dealing with, and it's not what we thought it was. But this guy, it was one of the most scary calls I've ever heard. It always stuck with me, along with Jacques Villette, who he believes these can be more of a spiritual experience, more of an inter-realm experience that humans are having on a spiritual level. I'm going to have some weird points of view on this. This isn't going to be your typical UFO channel. I'm looking at it from a Christian point of view. Doesn't mean I'm going to be pushing Christianity. What it means is I believe in God. But if you get into some of the stories of after-death experiences, a lot of people come back saying it's very easy for humans to create things, houses, streets, streams. In heaven, things are just thought of and they are there. You can see your life in a flash, in a 360-degree panorama, all at once, where time doesn't mean anything. And it's a question that Paradox 9 wants to look into. Are these UFOs coming from a different time? Is time real when you can squash distance into zero? Anyway, this is Paradox 9. I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope I didn't get too crazy with you, but thanks a lot, and we'll see you later.
Hello, Art.
Yes.
Hi. I don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, look, let's begin by finding out whether you're using this line properly or not.
Area 51.
Yeah, that's right. Were you an employee or are you now?
A former employee.
Former employee.
I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They're gonna they'll triangulate on this position really soon.
So you can't spend a lot of time on the phone. So give us something quick.
Okay. Okay. What we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra-dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, I'm sorry, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population to now, Art.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
Discharge.